2-game win streak in conference, 8 of their last 9. And the two teams will go toe-to-toe here on the hardwood in Santa Clara as we get you set for a West Coast Conference clash. Hello, everyone. Evan Giddings with you on ESPN Plus. So glad that you could join us as both sides are at least meeting up for a little official honorees. The ACV, officials here this evening being honored pre-match. And while we have a little bit of time, let's take a look at both sides here tonight. First for the opposing Oregon State Beavers, who come into today again playing very well, 8-4 overall. They are 2-0 to begin WCC play, including a 3-0 sweep their last time out against Pacific. They have been led by Alana Mars, the reigning WCC Defensive Player of the Week. And as a whole, the Beavers have been outstanding at the tape. Meanwhile, on the Santa Clara side, under the tutelage of Aaron Lindsay, Salem Ashleon coming off a 14-kill performance their last time out in a 5-set loss to Washington State. They're 1-1 to begin WCC play. Also a 5-setter resulted in victory at Gonzaga. So the trip to the Pacific Northwest and the east side of Washington, fruitful once but not twice for Santa Clara as they now get a crack at another PNW foe in the Oregon State Beavers. As led by the third-year head coach and Lindsay Vahanik, looks on from the sideline. By the way, those officials that were honored this evening include our first referee, Kent Kadai, Lara Brown-Gerke, our second ref, and the two line judges, Shelby Flowers and Larry Eady. Well, Oregon State defeated twice by Santa Clara last season. And Santa Clara overall 6-5 in the 11 all-time meetings. But this is a very different Beavers group who has been, again, not just hot, having won 8 of 9, but they have been dominant, having won 5 of those matches in straight sets. So Ashleon is coming off of a magnificent showing up in the Pacific Northwest, gets us underway. And we start from the outside. The first swing is from Maylee Cormier, deterred by Santa Clara. Second opportunity for Oregon State. And now the Broncos get their chance to reply, and Kate Shanahan orchestrates the first point for the Broncos. Santa Clara enters 6-7 overall. Again, 1-1 in conference play. Falling last week to Washington State, defeating Gonzaga. Is from the net. There is the large Alana Mars, 6'4", just a freshman from Ellensburg, Washington, and has been a big reason for the strong start to this Oregon State season. In addition to Ashleon against Washington State, sophomore setter Macy Hinshaw contributed 44 assists against the Cougars, as this is a Santa Clara team as the first ace goes to Oregon State. And Alondra Paz. But this is a Santa Clara team that has played deep into sets, into matches, I should say, quite often this season. The 2 to begin conference play, and a total of 3 in non-conference play have gone to 5 sets. Shanahan manages to slip it in. Second kill and 2 points for Santa Clara. Shanahan, one of the 4 returning starters for Aaron Lindsay's Santa Clara Broncos, including Flanagan, Truitt, along with Hinshaw, the other 3. Here's Rummel, a big attacker for Oregon State, and a late call, but the Beavers do get the point. Oregon State coming off a month of September to remember, in which they swept 5 opponents, and it's the most time they have done so in 1 month since 2017. And again, Vahanik taking over the program in 2022 as that serve flies long. Slowly building up this program, but now in their 3rd season together, really reaping the benefits of their hard work. And Tia Kapihe The sophomore from Hawaii begins the point, and Scholes will put it away. There's Natalie Scholes, one of the many talented underclassmen for this Oregon State Beaver squad. Supplies them with an early lead.
Number 14, Jackie.
There's now Jackie Matias, also a native of Hawaii and a former Rainbow Warrior transfer, will serve. Hinshaw from the middle. The runner by Flanagan finds the hardwood. So two groups that have sort of grown and emerged in their own way. This is an Oregon State team with only a couple of graduating players. Annika Hester along with Vivian Light, a couple of grad students. Also Tia Shum, pardon me. Three different fifth-year players on this team. Meanwhile, Santa Clara is Ashley On, who transferred in from Michigan State, along with Layla Truitt, the two graduating members this year for the Broncos. Here's Rummel. Transfer from Arizona. Flanagan once again. And manages to shoot it through the block. And we're tied yet again here early in the first set. It was the first set for Oregon State that was their friend in both of their opening match victories in the WCC. Service error against Flanagan and the Broncos. 2 matches ago against St. Mary's, in the first set alone, Oregon State led at one point 18-8, and their defense was holding the Gales to a negative .056 hitting mark. Their ability to send back attackers, deter shots, it has been their calling card this season, but Layla Truitt is able to maneuver. There's a big swing from Cormier, put down at the net, sniffed out momentarily by the Broncos, but the point will go to Oregon State. Pardon me, it will be given to the Broncos. Apologies. Oregon State, one of the 4 undefeateds in conference play to start after the first weekend. Santa Clara with 4 other tied teams. As Trapani keeps the point alive. Matias over to the pin. Big swing and a better play by Hinshaw. Ashleon steps into one, just a bit wide.
That goes wide. Number 9, Emma Lilo in. Number 6, Bridget Gould back in. It is Lilo on serve.
So Emma Lilo from Kailua, Hawaii. Trying to attack Ashleon. Tough delivery towards Truitt in the middle. Not sure if the block will be officially given to Mars, but either way, the freshman and reigning defensive player of the week was there to make things tough. She, along with Scholes, have been a big reason for the deterrence at the tape as Kapihe earns the kill for the Broncos. Natalie Scholes leads all WCC players with nearly 1.3 blocks per set. Just in front of the stands. Free ball for Santa Clara. Kapihe right through the Oregon State back line. So Kapihe swinging early and often. And Santa Clara with the early advantage. Mars watches Santa Clara enter the tape, so an infraction on the Broncos knots us once more.
Number 2, Alondra Pons back in for Beavers. she's headed to the service area.
Tied at every point so far here in the opening set. With 4 different lead changes. Perhaps a sign of things to come. Here's Paz, local product from Woodburn, about 45 to an hour north of Corvallis. Here's a big swing by Rummel, met at the tape by Truitt and Capije. Rummel again. Ashleon towards the back. Ball up at the tape, tough angle for Santa Clara, and Oregon State will take it. And Santa Clara, even prior to that point being put down, was called against Kate Shanahan for stepping into the center line. They go back to Shanahan. Sent away. Truitt now from the middle. Pass pause. And Layla Truitt, along with 3 other Broncos, already multiple kills. A variety on offense has helped the Broncos thus far. Tied for the 10th time in the opening set. Somehow the Broncos keep it off the deck. And Oregon State made contact with the tape before Bridget Gould, coming off a career best performance, missed a bit low. Had a career high in kills, swings, and hitting percentage in the sweep of Pacific, Oregon State's last time out. Here's Rummel, right down the chute. Rummel entering the evening second in kills per set and second in attacks per set in the West Coast Conference. Hinshaw here to Capije. Dug out by Lilo. And then Rummel somehow not entering the center line, and Santa Clara making them pay. Shanahan once again. Timeout taken by Oregon State, with Santa Clara ahead by a point. And a couple of matches ago, this was an Oregon State defense that kept another WCC opponent in St. Mary's to a negative hitting percentage about 3/4 of the way through the opening set. Well, that has not been the case here today. Santa Clara has been very efficient and accurate to start this opening set, hitting .467. And due to a bevy of bodies right now bludgeoning the Beavers early, 3 kills by Kate Shanahan, a pair for Grace Flanagan, Layla Truitt, and Tia Capije. So far, Santa Clara hasn't hurt itself as far as service errors, and they've done a nice job of distributing their offense. All right, quick update for you. Make sure to join us tomorrow at 2:30 p.m. when men's water polo hosts UC Santa Barbara. And that's right here on ESPN+. Santa Clara athletics all weekend long. Got a couple of water polo and volleyball matches. As, of course, on Saturday, Santa Clara is going to be hosting Pepperdine, the beginning of a 3-game homestand for Santa Clara, wrapping up with their foes from San Francisco. Well, somehow Santa Clara kept that point alive, and they're going to get called for a lift. And so right out of the Oregon State timeout, we are tied again. For anyone just joining us, we have been tied at every single point here in this opening set. Evan Giddings with you on ESPN Plus between the 2-0 Oregon State Beavers and the 1-1 Santa Clara Broncos. Second weekend of conference play underway as Flanagan shoots across court. And it looked like Oregon State entered the center line. And so if there's been one side that has shot itself in the foot a little bit, it's actually been the Beavers. And they have taken advantage of their competition for the better part of a month. As a service error, Natsus at 13. So a new month. We'll find out if it's necessarily a new squad. More so on the Santa Clara side. Again, this is a team that has managed five-set matches this season, 2 of which to begin conference play. Good dig there by Matthias. Awkward angle on the swing from Hester. Ashleon steps into one, keeps it in. Salen Ashleon has found the range as of late. Santa Clara back on top. There's Ashlyn Riley starting the point, the freshman. And taking advantage from the middle is Natalie Scholes. Again, a lot of size in the middle for Oregon State. Mars at 6'4", Scholes, who you just saw, at 6'6". Cormier, Rummel, both 6'2". So Santa Clara giving up a little bit of size. Tough handling by Kapihe. Big swing on the outside by Cormier. Tough to defend. This time Kapihe handles it much better. Ashleon tools off the block. Ashleon staying aggressive here in the opening set. Is now through 15 points. It's the first team to 10. Rummel. Shanahan there. Oregon State will try it again, and Rummel this time runs into Hinshaw. Here's Ashleon once more. Blocked back by the Beavers. Another free ball. This time Oregon State takes advantage. Annika Hester with the kill. Let's take a look at the replay and see the second chance for Santa Clara. Again, a lot of variety, but the Beavers just a bit more adverse. Hinshaw, the Truett, too long. And at just a 2-point lead, it's the largest of the opening set for either side.
So they're like waiting for a dig over here. But you gotta, if the ball goes over, well, then you need a set over there. So how do you do that? You hit the skip set on your side. It's just weird. It's kind of backwards. 9.
Good service there from Oregon State. Kapihe manages to catch the Beavers off guard. A little touch does the trick for Santa Clara.
I moved.
The center from Lilo. Stunner from Cormier. So Miley Cormier trying to create the first cushion for either side here in this opening set. This is an Oregon State team that has found a way to separate over the last month more often than not. We'll see if Santa Clara has a response. It comes from Kate Shanahan. A booming kill, her 4th of the opening set. Erin Lindsay loving it. And how about Lexi Trapani? Just walking the line. First ace for Santa Clara. Ties this at 18. Goes that way again. Rummel looked like she didn't get nearly enough of it, and somehow the off-angle attack works in her favor. I mean, it was nearly a whiff. Let's take a second look at that. Angled off her forearm, and with Santa Clara's block already in the air, took a fortuitous ricochet. Kapihe. Pause with a gorgeous feed. Hinshaw with a better dig. Shanahan didn't get all of it. Rummel with touch. Kapihe steps into it, little low. And Shanahan finds unfortunately enters the tape. And a timeout's going to be taken here as Oregon State is the first to 20. We will step aside as well. Again, a 2-point lead for Oregon State in the opening set.
You have the power.
Well, this has been a close, very close opening set here between Oregon State and Santa Clara. 16 ties, 7 lead changes in the third match on the second weekend of WCC play. Evan Giddings with you on ESPN Plus. Glad you could join us as Grace Flanagan is foiled at the tape. Shanahan tries her hand as well. Oregon State there. Big swing. Gabriel deterred as Hinshaw leaves it up for Kapihe. The block by the Beavers. Shanahan will try again. Space in the middle. Snuffed out. Rummel. Hinshaw. And Trapani keeps it alive for Shanahan, who wins the point. Maximum effort by Santa Clara. A trio of tries for both sides, and Kate Shanahan closes it. Kapihe now and Santa Clara a chance to tie, and they will. First touch off by the Beavers, and we're tied at 20. And Oregon State is quickly going to take a timeout. Both sides with, pardon me, I believe Santa Clara has 1 timeout left, as Oregon State used its actually pretty early in this opening set. But nonetheless, an opening frame that feels destined to go right down to the wire. Mentioned it coming out of the break, but now the 17th tie of this first set. Santa Clara hitting .344. They were at 500 at .16 due to 5 different Broncos earning multiple kills. Oregon State somewhat of a similar path to success. 5 different Beavers, 4 of which have multiple kills. They have hit .345 as a team. So again, just about dead even. The difference has been the defense of Santa Clara has kept points alive. 14 digs to just 8 so far for Oregon State. So they have given themselves ample opportunity. 32 total swings and just 4 errors for Santa Clara. They have played crisp here in this first set against the currently undefeated in conference play Oregon State Beavers.
There's 2 Beaver timeouts here in set 1.
So Oregon State out of timeouts as the sophomore Kapihe serves to put Santa Clara in front. Looking for their first run of the evening. Rummel will not let them have it as Lauren Rummel collects her 4th kill of the first set.
Back in and serving number 4.
Matias is going to sub in, and she'll take service. Again, Santa Clara with 1 more time out of the back pocket of Coach Lindsay. Kapihe at the net. Tough first touch. Ashleon keeps it alive, but not long enough. So a 2-point advantage. Got to imagine another point here for the Beavers would trigger the second timeout from Santa Clara. Trapani towards Hinshaw, leaves it up for Shanahan. Through the block. Rummel. Ashleon digs. Shanahan has no angle. Beavers will take another try. Rummel, a rocket. And Oregon State has a 3-point lead. And Santa Clara will use that final timeout. A seesaw affair here in the opening set between Oregon State and Santa Clara. The Beavers looking for some payback after last year where they lost both times to Santa Clara and are looking to tie the all-time series at 6 matches apiece. Here's that last bullet by Lauren Rummel, someone who has been ultimately very difficult to stop this season for any defense, any team in the WCC, as she's acquired almost 3.85 kills per set, good for second in the conference, and has taken 10 swings per set. Right on with those marks, but has been hitting at a higher percentage. She has 5 kills on 10 total swings with no attack errors here in the first set. And as her coach, Lindsey Bohonic, in her second season after coming over as an assistant with Pittsburgh, where the Panthers were a constant in the NCAA tournament. Got a great look there at what success year in and year out is supposed to look like. And in her second season, trying to help bring that and kickstart something in Corvallis. Meanwhile, here at the Levy Center in Santa Clara, Oregon State has the advantage. 2 points separating them from an opening set victory. And a rotation error against Oregon State, ill-timed. And it looked like they called Alondra pause on the rotation error. And so that's going to be a point and somewhat of a gift to Santa Clara.
Number 8, Alyssa Eimer into the Santa Clara lineup.
So Alyssa Eimer is going to substitute in for Santa Clara. A couple of defensive specialists / liberos on the floor for the Broncos. Eimer, good serve. Rummel trying to find the opening, cannot. Hinshaw high for Ashleon, too long. And set point for Oregon State. So a couple of miscues between both teams here in big points. Somewhat of a mental mistake the point before. And an attack error against Santa Clara, just their 5th here in the first. Lauren Rummel will serve for the set. Hinshaw towards Ashleon. That is a bullet. Missed long on her prior swing. No problems there. Ashleon. I mean, she poured it on. Here's Riley from the middle now. Cormier, the winner, as Oregon State finishes the first set with strength, and the Beavers lead 1-0. We're going to take a break, come back with our second set as Santa Clara will try and find themselves even. Oregon State looking for some revenge here in the South Bay. When we return, Evan Giddings with you on ESPN+. Welcome back inside the Levy Center after the conclusion of the first set went to Oregon State. You can see Santa Clara huddled right now, trying to regroup as it's time to take a look at their upcoming schedule, brought to you by Heffernan Insurance. Well, amidst a 3-match homestand, hosting Pepperdine here on Saturday before next Thursday against the Dons of San Francisco. A little Peninsula City rivalry. And then they head over to the East Bay for a matchup with St. Mary's and Pacific before the tail end of the second half begins, or I should say the tail end of the first half concludes and then begins with Gonzaga. Meanwhile, for Oregon State, a couple of matchups with USF on the horizon. Also Gonzaga, they will host next Thursday before heading down to San Diego. And wrapping up their upcoming 5-match stretch with the Waves of Pepperdine. Oregon State on a Marriott tour right now. Play Santa Clara obviously tonight, and then they head up to the Hilltop where they'll face the Dons of San Francisco. Meanwhile, the second set begins here in the South Bay after a 25-22 first set win for Oregon State. Santa Clara and Shanahan, the first attack of the frame. Trapani with a big dig. Truitt at the tape with a gorgeous delivery from Hinshaw. Some touch and then steam supplied by Santa Clara. Well, in that first set, it was 5 kills from Kate Shanahan that led Santa Clara. 3 from Grace Flanagan, Salen Ashleon, along with Tia Kapihe. Meanwhile, on the Oregon State side, they were led by Lauren Rummel, who had 5 kills, Alana Mars with 4, and Miley Cormier with 3. Not much room over there as the second point quickly goes to the Broncos. Tough spot there from Hester. But Oregon State hit nearly 400 in the first set, as did Santa Clara, quite frankly. And they were very efficient on the attack in the opening frame. 316 their hitting percentage, so a bit lower. Trapani with a flying effort for naught. And the majority of that was their sort of skidding halt down the stretch of that first set. Got to credit the Beavers blockers and really sort of deterrence at the tape. But a pretty efficient first set for Santa Clara on the attack. We'll see if they can keep it moving here. Flanagan tries to maneuver and storms down the middle. Flanagan had three kills on just 4 attacks in that opening set. And quickly begins here in the second. And that is just out. The near ace by Kapihe. Down a set, a place that Santa Clara not necessarily unfamiliar with. Against Washington State their last time out, trailed by a set. Ended up winning the next 2 before falling 27-25 in the 4th set, and then eventually 15-6 in the 5th. As Hinshaw looks for a sneak attack, and it is sniffed out by Shum. Heads up play, and a point won by Oregon State. That is all on the shoulders of Tia Shum. Experience from the grad student from London, an ECU transfer. Hinshaw will try it again. Too long. Big swing, but Hester goes beyond the line. Also in their first conference victory of the season, Santa Clara also trailed by a set. Won the next 2, fell in the 4th, and then was victorious against Gonzaga 15-11. At the time handing the Bulldogs just their 5th defeat of the season. Rummel misses from the pin. Flanagan. Shum is there for the dig. Rummel will try it again. And it's off the block of Santa Clara. Point Beavers. This is a Santa Clara team that ranks 9th in terms of blocks per set in the conference of the 12 teams, staring at an Oregon State foe that is 2nd. That is something that they tend to control. The net. Rummel. Nice play there from Shanahan. Ashleon collects the kill. So Riley and Amy, Ferguson. We'll see Ferguson for the first time, as both of them sub in for Santa Clara. And that is a beautiful ace from Ashlyn Riley, the freshman from Lakewood. Put Santa Clara up by 2, their largest lead in the match thus far. Yeah, that was a first set that saw 17 ties through 18 points. It was quite literally back and forth. Rummel blocked back by Flanagan. Pardon me, that is Ashleon with the block. And a timeout taken by Oregon State. As Lindsey Bohonic wants time to talk things over, we'll step aside as well. Back with more between Oregon State and Santa Clara on ESPN+. Santa Clara on a 3-0 run as it sent Oregon State into its first break in the action, taking its first of 2 timeouts. Ashlyn Riley, who just collected an ace prior to the break in the action, triggering this point. Oregon State right now back on its heels. Riley, Shanahan with not much space, but somehow pushing it to the corner. Well, Kate Shanahan found the opening. That is about as touchful of a kill as we have seen this evening. 6th for Shanahan.
This case,
just long there by Riley. Santa Clara beginning to play with some more confidence. As Flanagan will have to wait momentarily, as will Cormier. Here's Rummel. And now it looks like Bohonic, third-year head coach, is asking for confirmation.
It's not always about
So Gierke has things set.
there could be an attack that's like this if she's trying to aim it just like teardrop, you know? 11, 1.
Truitt, the runner, blocked by the Beavers. And the joust nearly won by Santa Clara. Point remains alive. Ashleon a little wide. And just a hair too fine.
That was dirty.
Well, prior to the break, it was Santa Clara that won what felt like a major rally. Several different touches as Ashleon is asking for the tip. Not being granted. And the point will go to the Beavers. It looks like Santa Clara is going to challenge whether or not it was tipped. So Broncos seem pretty confident that it was tipped by Oregon State. So Gierke's going to take a look at it on our instant replay machine. It's tough to tell from this angle. Nonetheless, an early time for the challenge. Also build in a break for the 7th-year head coach. And for Lindsey, who is, as always, found a way to kind of rebuild this program now in her 2nd consecutive cycle. 10th head coach all time. 2nd stint as a head coach, also with Dartmouth. Well, you can see the replay here. There's a second angle. Again, the call on the floor was Oregon State did not touch it. So the point is going to have to be overturned. And I guess the real question is going to be, is there enough evidence to do it? Already, however, a much better start to set number 2 than the first for Santa Clara, led by as many as 3. And it does appear that there's not enough evidence to overturn this call, at least from listening to the whispers of referee Gierke. And so it'll be a 3-0 run for Oregon State, their first of set number 2. Both teams swinging with a little less efficiency here in the second set, but Can also attribute that to the defense both rising and raising their levels. Shanahan right down the chute and blasts it past the Beavers. Hey, Shanahan has been on fire to begin the match. Now 7 kills to lead all on the floor. Left-handed attack. Tough to play there from Cormier. And Ashleon tools off the block. Well, Shanahan and now Ashleon between them have taken 30 swings of the 51 for Santa Clara. Two-pronged attack, and that is a major blast from Cormier. And Miley Cormier with an emphatic kill.
And the service area, number 20, Natalie Schultz.
Hinshaw leaves it up for Kapihe, who misfires. Somewhat of a high arcing pass there from Hinshaw. Trouble tracking it. Scholes now. Not as long. Nice read from Kapihe. Santa Clara remains in front. Have had the lead ever so slightly for the majority of the second set as we move towards the middle portion. Matthias rushes for it. Rummel, no room. Shanahan from the pin, blocked away and out. So the point goes to Santa Clara. And Kate Shanahan continues to hold the hot hand. Beautiful ace there from Ashleon. Ashleon just continuing to pick on that edge as Oregon State will make a couple of substitutions. And a match high 4-point set for Santa Clara. Beavers did not find themselves trailing all that often, if at all, throughout the entire month of September. And here they are with their backpedaling. Ashleon yet again putting pressure on Oregon State. A 5-point Santa Clara lead. Looks like there's a bit of disagreement on the last point from Vahanik. Maybe she thought the point was prematurely called. Either way, Vahanik is in a extended conversation right now with Gierke. Third-year head coach for Oregon State, just looking for an answer, trying to find one. Santa Clara's got them all. Ashleon with another ace. And a 6-point Santa Clara lead. Ashleon again with a beautiful serve. And that is going to be a point for the Broncos. Ricochets off the scoreboard. And a 6-0 Broncos run. Timeout, Oregon State. Ashleon has not let Oregon State off the hook, as her service has stormed Santa Clara to an imposing 7-point lead here in the second set. Again, just doing it all right now through service. 6 aces in the second set. Pardon me, total. And a total right now in the second set of 4 aces. All right, a reminder that tonight's match is brought to you by DevCon Construction, building the future of Santa Clara athletics, and also by Lux Bus America, covering more ground in more places. Evan Giddings with you on ESPN Plus, and right now, Huddle looking for answers on the Beavers side of things. Again, mentioned it off the top of the broadcast, but this is an Oregon State squad. I mean, you see the 8 wins, you see the 2-0 to start conference play, but they just simply have not been put in these positions all that often throughout the last month. They had 5 straight set wins in the month of September alone, and they have won 8 of their last 9 games. That, by the way, the 5 sweeps in a month, their most since 2017. I mean, that's the kind of dominance that they have displayed. In fact, early on in non-conference play, they had a stretch of 4 matches where they did not drop a set to UCSD, Boise State on the road, Montana State, and then UC Irvine. Montana State team, by the way, they got the best of Santa Clara in 4 sets. And that is how the Beavers break the 6-0 scoring run. So still a lot of work to do for Oregon State as Santa Clara remains in firm control. Largest lead for either side here in the match. Truitt tries to put it down. Capihe will give her hand. Oregon State there both times. Trapani. Shanahan over the middle. Santa Clara is working with all the answers to the test. 7-point lead. Well, it looked like Oregon State had Santa Clara on their heels. But after Trapani found Shanahan, she opened up the hardwood. From the middle, Flanagan. Not a lot behind it. Managing to keep the point alive just for Annika Hester to enter the tape and the center line. That is point Santa Clara. Mahonic again not happy with the call. And I think she's going to try and challenge it. And I think is need a little help as to what specifically to challenge. Okay, so she's going to challenge whether or not there was a Beaver that made contact with the net. Here's our replay. I don't know how Capihe didn't touch it, to be quite honest. Well, Hester certainly breaks the tape, but the question is, did she make contact there at the end? That is what Mahonic would like some clarity and hopefully a return to point over. Because right now, Santa Clara would be on a 7 of 8 point stretch. And the call is going to be, sounds like reversed. So another quick look. That also might be what Gerke was taking a look at. Yeah. It does look like Capihe came in contact with the net. And Capihe did indeed touch the tape, so.
Checking in and serving number 2, Alondra Moss.
During the review of the play, the point has been overturned. The call has been overturned, I should say. Still a 6-point advantage for the home side. Here's Shanahan. Big swing. Rummel. Ashleon is there. Flanagan down the chute. Rummel once more. Trapani with an early dive, and the ricochet catches Santa Clara on their heels. Kill there from Annika Hester, one of the 2 all-conference preseason selections for Oregon State. She along with Rummel. Shanahan steps into one. The block by the Beavers. Well, that's something that we have almost been promised entering this match, but just the first block of the evening for the team that is number 2 in blocks per set in the conference. Have to credit Santa Clara with not allowing Oregon State to find some rhythm, and now it looks like the Beavers have stormed a 4-0 run, and Santa Clara is going to call a timeout. It was once almost a 7-point lead for Santa Clara, but after the challenge, a 6-point lead has been dwindled and turned around to a 3-point edge. We're going to keep it here through the break in the action, as you can feel the momentum swinging towards the roadside as Oregon State, who claimed the first set, a much closer faction, is now looking for a come-from-behind set 2 victory. Or certainly will need one.
Same site at scbroncos.scu.edu. That's at SCU Broncos.
Oregon State feeling itself right now.
SCU.edu. Do it now.
Make sure to get all of ESPN College Volleyball all in one place with the all-new ESPN app. Unlock the ESPN Unlimited plan or log in with your TV provider. So get all in one spot. ESPN app, easy to find. You can catch a whole lot of West Coast Conference athletics, soccer, water polo, volleyball, all of which happening this weekend for Santa Clara. Both teams remaining in the Bay Area this weekend. Santa Clara here at home against Pepperdine, where Oregon State will head up to San Francisco. Not sunny San Francisco, I might add. It's been gray and gloomy the last couple of days. Much nicer the temperature down here in the south. Rummel blocked but out by the Broncos. And a 5-0 run through the timeout. All of a sudden, Santa Clara is grasping to a 2-point lead. Hinshaw looking to break things up. Shanahan, again, the block is there. Rummel once more. Trapani towards the middle. A beautiful pass. Ashleon and Trapani keep the point alive. Third time. Ashleon, another dig. Shanahan, too far. Point Beavers, and it's a 1-point game here in the second set. Where once the set seemed in control of Santa Clara, now 1 point away from even. And that is how the 6-0 scoring run comes to a screeching halt. Service error. So Santa Clara very happy to see Alondra Paz hand the volleyball to one of her teammates. Rummel has had the hot hand. Rummel continues to hurt Santa Clara. Kill number 10 for the sophomore. Pardon me, for the senior, I beg your pardon. Hinshaw tried to go toe-to-toe with the 6'6" Scholes. Shanahan benefits from the tip. Clear as day off the touch, and a 2-point lead for Santa Clara. And now 2 substitutions quickly inserted by head coach Lindsay. It's going to be Haley Newell, the redshirt freshman from nearby San Jose, who's going to step in to serve. formerly of Sonoma State, also Virgason returning for Santa Clara. Rummel, big swing, bigger block by the Broncos. Just the second block of the evening by Santa Clara. Opportune time. Just catching enough of a piece of it was Flanagan along with Ashleon before Oregon State cleans it up. So Shanahan and Hinshaw for Santa Clara, along with, looks like, Matias and Gabriel for Oregon State.
For Oregon State, number 14, Jackie Matias back in, along with 24, Caleb Gabriel. Matias in the service area.
That was right into the corner. Ashleon, tough angle, big block by the Beavers, and a 1-point set.
Oregon State.
Santa Clara has not played in a tie position since the early beginnings here in set number 2. Good serve. Oregon State with an opportunity to tie here. They go to Rummel. Who else? All locked at 20. And Santa Clara is going to use its second timeout as Coach Lindsay tries to prevent the bleeding from spilling over into a Beavers lead. So we'll keep it here through the break in the action. Oregon State, their second run. As we got to take some time to review just how we got here in the second set. Tied at 3. The last time that these two teams were locked. And 17 points later, that's where we find ourselves as Santa Clara really on the back of gorgeous serving by Salen Ashleon. The senior transfer from Michigan State went on a 6-0 run after it was 11-9 Santa Clara. Pardon me, 10-9. So moved that 16-9. There was a point in which Tia Kapihe was not ruled to have entered the net, and then it was challenged by Oregon State. Was turned from a point to Santa Clara into a point to Oregon State. That broke the 6-0 run. And unfortunately from there, things have unraveled a bit for Santa Clara. A 6-0 run by Oregon State to draw them within 1 at 17-16. Eventually Santa Clara went up 20-17. And now a 3-0 stretch with Matias continuing service out of the timeout for Oregon State has us locked at 20. Both sides out of timeouts. Hinshaw leaves it up for Ashleon, and a block by the Beavers. Scholes with the rejection, and Oregon State has its first lead since 2-1. Beg your pardon, since 3-2. Either way, it was from the very start of this second set. And now Santa Clara has to chase. Flanagan finds the opening, and we're tied at 21. Well, this now feels a lot more like the first set, where there was virtually no separation between these two squads. Sinking service. Rummel, big blast. Shanahan unable to get there.
Oregon State.
When Oregon State has needed an answer, they have gone to Lauren Rummel, the senior from Tucson, now with 12 kills. He steps in for service. Hinshaw leaves it up for Shanahan. Steps into a stinging blast. Somehow Rummel got to it. Cormier into the block. Cormier once again. This time she converts. And Oregon State with its first multiple-point lead of the second set. Well, the Beavers have dug deep here in set two. Now looking to close the last 2 points. Does Santa Clara have a response? They go to Truitt. That's Truitt. Angles it off the block of the Beavers. Little Truitt quiet in this second set after 3 kills in the first. Matias feeds Cormier. Hinshaw there. Trapping it now to Ashleon. A block once again available. The Beavers will bat it back. And then Ashleon maneuvers around. Tied at 23. Well, if you can't go over, you can't go under. Just go around. Matias has to scamper to it as Cormier blasts it through the attempted block of Truitt and Kapihe. Set point. Oregon State with service, and it's Scholes that will attempt to put Oregon State up 2-0 here on the road. The Levy Center looking on. Oregon State trailed by as many as 6 points, and now they will have to win by 2.
It is Salem Ashleon on serve.
Ashleon was in service during Santa Clara's 6-0 run earlier in this set. Shanahan with a tough angle somehow delivers it over the tape. Cormier adjusts at the middle, won by Oregon State, as it's Alana Mars, the freshman.
Oregon State.
And it looks like they might be reviewing whether or not Cormier went into the middle. No, pardon me, it's a substitution. Saw that replay. It was dangerously close. And so now the Beavers, second chance at the second set. Hinshaw sprints. Shanahan. Once more. Oregon State there. And a block by the freshman. The WCC Defensive Player of the Week comes up tall, and Oregon State claims the second set. As Mars makes a huge play in the middle, and the Beavers have a chance to continue their straight set magic on the other side of this commercial break. More WCC volleyball when we return. Well, an absolute whirlwind of a second set that saw Oregon State climb back to win 26-24. More on that in a moment as we take a look at our WCC standings, presented as always by Lenardi's Market. Well, Oregon State is among the unbeatens right now, 4 of which include Portland, obviously the Beavers, as well as San Diego. Meanwhile, Santa Clara smack dab in the middle with the 1-1s and trying to improve and get their second win of the season. Probably, pardon me, 3 unbeatens right now. Alongside Oregon State, Washington State being the other. And Santa Clara right now with half their wins coming up north and half their losses as well. Gonzaga as well as Washington State. All right, the statistics from the first 2 sets. much different between set 1 and set 2 in terms of efficiency for both sides. You take a look at the amount of ties we saw in the opening set and the ties we saw in the second set. 17 in our opening frame and 7 lead changes, 6 ties and only 1 lead change in the second set. But you can see there, apologies for the difficulties, but Oregon State through the first 2 sets hitting at a much more efficient clip than Santa Clara. In the first set alone, though, what Santa Clara was able to do is hit at a .314 percentage, and that plummeted really all the way down to .048 in the second set due to 10 attack errors, primarily supplied by 5 blocks in the second set alone by Oregon State. And that might be the difference in between Santa Clara winning and losing that second set, because Oregon State did not have a single block in the opening set, and again 5 alone in the second. Santa Clara, half of their aces, by the way, came during a 6-0 stretch in the second set that helped them push out to a 16-9 lead. More on that in a moment, as tonight's match is brought to you by One Workplace, creating spaces that inspire and transform the way you work, and also by Rabbit Office Automation, providing technology for your business. Yeah, so Santa Clara was up 16-9, and then a point that initially went to Santa Clara was challenged and overturned in favor of Oregon State. Swung a big point, and from there, Oregon State stormed back into the set. Couple of points traded later, they went on a 6-0 run, eventually tied at 20, took a 3-point lead at 23 all. Santa Clara came back to tie it at 24, and Oregon State obviously was victorious with the final 2 points of the second set. So a couple of the leaders right now in the match for Oregon State include Lauren Rummel, who leads all players on the hardwood with 12 kills, hitting .385. Bailey Cormier, 9 kills, hitting .600. And for Santa Clara, it's Kate Shanahan, 10 kills on 30 attempts. And Salen Ashleon with 6 kills behind her on 15 total swings. Speaking of Ashleon, she takes the first for Santa Clara and earns the third set's opening point.
Stay behind the ball a little bit. Okay.
The attack now, Rummel. Shanahan there from the back line. Ashleon. And a swing there from the pin, courtesy of Annika Hester. Has been a little quiet here tonight. Just her second kill.
Number 22, Miley Cormier back in. Serving first in set 3 is Lauren Rummel.
I did the same thing. What did I tell you? I told you the same thing. He was doing quiet and do that.
Henshaw's got 18 assists here in this match. Make it number 19 as Layla Truitt softly over the top. Well, second to last opportunity perhaps for some time for Santa Clara and Oregon State to go toe-to-toe, as that is just wide, and a service error knots us again at 2. But Oregon State closing its 2-year stint as an affiliate member of the WCC here in 2025. Will be joining the new Pac-12, going back to the Pac as of July 1st, 2026. Boise State, Colorado State, Fresno State, Gonzaga will be going from the WCC, along with SDSU, Texas State, Utah State, and of course Oregon State and Washington State, the 2 members who originally were a part of a Pac-2. As a blast there goes to Santa Clara. Cormier made contact with the tape. But we'll see if Santa Clara remains, sort of keeps its relationships with some of these squads that they've, of course, had a historical connection to, such as Gonzaga. Looked like that hit our line judge and is going to be out. and whether it chooses to compete non-conference against some of its new flames, obviously such as Oregon and Washington State. Hinshaw here over to Shanahan. A big blast and a bigger block. Well, the Beavers block has showed up midway through this match. And a big denial from Kayla Gabriel. Now up to 6 here in this third set. Flanagan moves quickly, not allowing the Beavers to set.
Point Broncos. Kapihe on serve.
That is long.
Point Oregon State.
You can tell Oregon State right now feeling that pendulum, especially after the way they finished the second set, came back swinging towards them. The crowd getting a little calmer here at Levy Center. As Oregon State returns the point back. Well, it was Alondra Paz who helped kickstart that 6-0 run to get Oregon State back in it in set number 2. Big time in service. Rummel. Shanahan handles it. Down the shoe, Trapani. Shanahan tries her hand and misses long. Just so many different trees to look at for Oregon State. Talked about it earlier, the 6'6" Scholes, 6'4" Gabriel, 6'4" Mars, 6'4" Hester. And so Santa Clara has perhaps felt like they needed to play with a bit more speed. Again, did so with quite a bit of effectiveness in the first set. Handle there. Rummel salvages the point. Well, that looked like it was dead in the water, as Gabriel just put it up there and Rummel pounded it. Scholes will welcome Hester back to the hardwood. Leon once again. This time it is Scholes who closes the door. Early 2-point edge. Trickles it over the tape. Leon somehow adjusts to it. And Truitt puts Santa Clara back on the board. Wow. Not sure if that was intended to be a pass or whether Matthias sort of lost track of where she was, but either way, a bit low. Much better find there by Matthias. Leon. How about that play by Shum? Over the net, Kapihe puts it away. sinking serve. Earned Santa Clara a free ball. Truitt. Over to Hester, the touch. Hinshaw's on it. Ashleon. Pause and Shum. A sturdy backline combination. Kapihe, the block by Hester. The Beamers continue to stymie Santa Clara at the tape.
22, Mylan Cormier back into the Beavers. Rummel on serve.
Puts an end to the 3-0 stretch with emphasis. Hinshaw here to Truitt. Hester misfires. Cormier gets a crack, and that was off from the moment she made contact. Knew it, and will now regroup as Santa Clara is the first team to 10.
Leon on serve.
Shanahan with a big swing sent away. We'll try it again. Cormier. That ball found her. This time Santa Clara earns a rejection. And how about Matias? Perfect timing. Locked at 10. We saw her attempt to do something perhaps similar earlier in the set, misfired. And second time, she cleans up. Kapihe over the top. Nobody home. As Tia Kapihe as Santa Clara on top. It's been 5 different Broncos in this match. Now with 5 kills or more. Kapihe being one of them. Good serve has the Beavers on their heels. The Broncos will take advantage. Shanahan with a blast. Kill number 11. Shanahan, who leads this team with 152 kills entering the night, 2.9%. As that attempt ran wide by Oregon State, and it's a 3-point lead for Santa Clara. Timeout to Oregon State. We'll step aside as well. More of the third set here at the Levy Center after this on ESPN+. Well, we'd like to remind you that tonight's match is brought to you by West Coast Sports Institute, where medicine meets rehab. About midway, a little less than, through this third set. Here inside the Levy Center, Evan Giddings with you on ESPN+. Santa Clara, Oregon State. So glad that you could join us. Beavers on top 2-0. As a big dig there by Trapani. Sets up the Shanahan attack. Oregon State with a slim 26-24 second set victory to put them up. As Santa Clara is called over the net. And that will stop the 3-0 Broncos run prior to the Oregon State timeout. So one timeout left for the third-year head coach, Lindsey Bohonic. Both in the pocket for Aaron Lindsey on the opposite side. As we take a look at the replay. And tough to tell, but it did look dangerously close. 22-1. And Shaw now sets it up quickly for Flanagan, who walks the tape and drops it in. Took forever. Little Levy Center cooking. At the tape again, Flanagan got a touch. Oregon State is clamoring, saying that Flanagan went over. And it's a point to the Broncos. Here's the point from before. And I think Oregon State might have aided in it, but just rolled and rolled about halfway down the net. Not sure I've ever seen that before. Previous point went to Santa Clara, so a 4-point edge to the home side, trying to force a fourth set. Setup now, back row. Not a lot of room for Rummel. Flanagan the runner. How about the play there by Shum? And then collected a kill for Cormier. Well, if you're Oregon State, you have to feel like no deficit is insurmountable. And conversely, if you're Santa Clara, after leading by 6 and falling in the second set, you have to feel like no lead is safe. Shanahan, pardon me, looking to extend it. First touch, second delivered on a platter. Right there is Alana Mars. Santa Clara hitting much more efficiently here in this third set as Hinshaw leaves it up for Shanahan, who drops it in. Put some top spin on it. 13 kills for Kate Shanahan. But considering the last two opponents, Oregon State's defense held them under 100. Held St. Mary's to 0.90, held Pacific to an 0.52 hitting percentage. Santa Clara's hitting percentage as a whole, much more formidable than Oregon State's prior two victories. And right on cue, Ashleon beats the Beavers block. Ashleon now with 8 kills. A 5-point lead here as we move closer to the tail end of the second set. 16-9. That was their largest advantage in the second. And whereas there was some pre-serve confusion in the Oregon State side, they get bailed out a little bit by a service error. 9 errors to 7 for Santa Clara. We've had 2 of which here in the third set.
After further discussion, it is Matias serving.
And Oregon State gives the point right back. That one might have been headed out. Instead, Shum makes a difficult play. Santa Clara, Kapihe. Back to Hester, met by a Broncos defense. And Santa Clara and Ashleon claim the point. They're the first to 20. Santa Clara is trying to earn just the second set won against Oregon State of conference play. Here in their third match, Rummel. Trapani sets it up for Ashleon. Now it's Oregon State's turn. Rummel again. Forces towards the middle where Shanahan occupies. Hester from the pin. Kapihe there. Fortuitous touch of the tape. And a point to the Broncos. Tied for a match-high 7-point lead. Timeout, Oregon State. 21-14 Broncos. They've had a couple of those tightrope walkers here in set number 3. First it was Flanagan, and then Truitt. And part of now a 3-0 run. And while we have a little bit of time here during the timeout, it's time to get to know Oregon State just a little bit better. Well, obviously a member of the WCC for now, and of course they've had quite a few notable alums, as well as the athletic, entertainment, and finance department. But from Corvallis, Oregon, about 45 minutes towards the coast away from Eugene along Interstate 5. So a bit off the beaten path, but one of the 2 primary universities up in the great state of Oregon. Sandwiched, of course, between Washington and California. But this Oregon State volleyball program has come a long ways, of course, under Mahonic in her 3rd year. Last season to now, just these 2 programs, the difference in play in a year has been pretty drastic as Shoals leaves it low and Santa Clara can taste the 3rd set. Last year, Santa Clara bested Oregon State in both matches, sweeping the season series. And so far here tonight, it's been a very different story as the Beavers are just 1 set away from claiming their revenge. Fine there. Kapihe will step into 1. Shum has been so good here tonight. That's her 14th dig. Make it 15. Rummel with a blast. Hinshaw. A gorgeous reception. One of the better volleys we've had here in the set. And it's long, remains in. I take it back. It was tipped. That was the result. And Santa Clara has a look of puzzlement on their sideline.
Rummel serving.
Well, would have made it an 8-point set, and instead it was difficult to tell originally which side our referees were giving the point to, but it ends up going to Oregon State as Aaron Lindsay looks on. So kind of a last opportunity here for Oregon State to make a push. Kapihe puts a pin in it. Well, let's take a look at the replay at the previous point. So they said that it was tipped. I'm not going to lie, I don't really see much. Maybe Truitt on that right hand. Either way, Santa Clara continues to close. Cormier with no tip, misses wide. Set point. Well, Santa Clara held firm hold on the second set, could not close, and have written their wrongs here in the 3rd set. Trying to force a 4th. Shanahan puts it down. Kate Shanahan's 14th kill of the evening forces a 4th set. So 2-1, Oregon State with a chance to end the match, and Santa Clara on the other side will look to extend it. More in the WCC between Santa Clara and Oregon State on the other side when we return. Welcome back to Santa Clara here inside the Levy Center. First of the 2 matches this weekend for the Broncos against Oregon State, who leads 2-1 After Santa Clara with a dominating 25-15 set 3 victory, pushed it to a fourth. In that set, they hit 294 as a team. Only 4 attack errors have been led by Kate Shanahan, who has 14 kills total. Salen Ashleon with 9 kills and Grace Flanagan with 7. Meanwhile, they held Oregon State to a negative hitting percentage, just 7 kills to 8 errors in that third set. So the defense and the block of the Broncos showing up. And now they'll need another full 25-point effort to push it to a fifth. Fell in close fashion, 25-22 and then 26-24 in the first 2 frames. So again, probably the Broncos feeling like not that big of a difference between these two sides as Oregon State looks to maintain its unbeaten streak in conference play. Looking to start a streak, I should say, at 2-0. Looking for a third straight WCC win. And Santa Clara hoping to move above 500 once again. And also keep their unbeaten streak against the Broncos. Did not allow Oregon State a victory against them last year. And trying to start 2025 on the right foot. So Lilo begins set number 4 here inside the Levy Center. Gould, seldom seen in the last 2 sets. And it's Santa Clara who earns the first point. Nearly mishandled by Mars, and that ends up on the antenna.
Back in serving number 2, Alondra Paz.
So Alondra Paz and shot here goes to Kapihe right through the block of the Beavers. Through Gold along with Mars. One of the best middle blockers in the conference, and especially first among freshmen. Mars, in fact, is the only student athlete in the WCC with 3 Conference Player of the Week awards. After last week, she got her first Defensive Player of the Week award. Here comes Shanahan. Hot and heavy, number 15. 15 kills for Kate Shanahan. Well, sinking serve. Trapani puts the Beavers on their heels, and Shanahan just misses long. Shanahan has taken now 43 swings in the match tonight. She'll try again, and is blocked back by the Beavers. A bit telegraphed by Santa Clara that time. There wasn't a whole lot of smiling done by Oregon State in the third set. Their last lead was at 8-6. And Santa Clara is locked again. This is how the first set went for the first 17 points. Roughly tied, pardon me, for the first 15 points. So we're tied 17 times total in the first set. As that is a rocket through the middle, courtesy of Natalie Scholes. And subbing back in is Maylee Cormier. So now a lot of height and firepower on the floor for Lindsey Bohonic. Rummel from the back line, Cormier, Scholes, and Hester up front. Santa Clara will look to break it. They cannot. Shanahan again sent away by Oregon State. Broncos are going to have to look somewhere else. They go to Flanagan this time. And it works. So Grace Flanagan from the opposite pin draws the Broncos closer. Flanagan, who's hitting .500 in the match here tonight. Hinshaw with the awareness. Ashleon right through the wickets. As now Ashleon is into double digits. Eimer is going to return for Santa Clara. Saw her down the stretch of the second set. And that is outside and wide. Well, tough spot. Eimer just in for service. Got up one spot. Just got to come off the bench cold and jump right into the pool. Here's Hinshaw upside. They go back to Flanagan with a cross-court killer. Grace Flanagan now with double digits, 10 kills on the night. Matias sets it up on a silver platter for Mars. Found a lot of real estate on the Santa Clara side.
Emily back in serving, joined by number 6, Bridget Gould. And Leslie Troutman rotates back into the Bronco lineup.
And an ace for Oregon State. Beautiful serve from Emma Lilo. Just the second ace of the evening for Oregon State. Really the one facet of their game they have not unlocked here in this match. Nearly a second. Lilo gets some help from the tape. But can they make it count? Cormier. Ashleon. Here's Gould. And that is a bit far. So a long-winded point was in Oregon State's favor since the start. And they're the first team to double digits. Once again, trickling over the top. Ashleon blocked. The Beavers set up their defense again. Shum nearly crossed up with Mars. That gives Santa Clara an opportunity for Truitt. Tools off the block. Layla Truitt with some velocity. Shanahan's been busy in the back row as Truitt tries to guide it, and instead she finds Mars.
Point, Oregon State. Back in and serving for the Beavers, number 2, Wanda Fox.
Earliest cushion in the set that Oregon State has had in the match tonight. Santa Clara has been right there. Ashleon makes an effort, and Oregon State has its second set of the set.
Point Beavers.
Had one entering the fourth, now with 2 already, and a timeout's going to be taken by Santa Clara. 4-point edge early by Oregon State, and we are going to step aside as well. Fourth set continues after this on ESPN+. So out of the media break, 12-8, a 4-point Oregon State advantage here in the fourth set, looking to close on the road. Santa Clara cannot connect. Instead, it sets it up for Mars. What a dig by Shanahan. 10th dig of the evening to go along with 15 kills. And that is rejected off of Ashleon as Oregon State has a set-high 5-point lead. Shanahan, it was in her last match against Washington State, collected a career-high 20 digs. Truitt, somehow it's pause that keeps the point in play. Hinshaw to Ashleon. Shum makes an effort. Rummel, Oregon State, what an effort. They quickly rallied around Shum, who went down to the deck very hard. And at the very least was smiling. It was difficult to tell if they were sprinting to their teammate to help her up or if to celebrate. Here's a second look at it. So here's the first. I don't know how pause got there. Santa Clara had a second chance.
Hopefully she'll be okay.
Ashleon off the rejection.
In for Shum is number 5.
And Shum, you can see grabbing at her calf, although still smiling. Fortunately, is able to get to the bench. She's looking back at the court like she wants to come back as quickly as possible, but they'll be without their libero at least for a moment. And so it's Kamano Goldstein, the freshman from Honolulu, who steps in. Ashleon, meanwhile, misses wide, and Oregon State is feeling themselves here inside the Levy Center.
I was worried about this.
Hinshaw to Kapihe, and that'll break the 5-0 run. Well, Santa Clara absolutely needed that. Big play there from the sophomore. And a service error, ill-timed by Santa Clara, does not allow them to even begin a potential run. Back to a 7-point Beaver advantage.
Natalie Scholes back in. It is Tia Shum on serve.
Hinshaw to Shanahan through the block. Oregon State has been swarming. They've been everywhere as Truitt. Somehow Scholes keeps it off the hardwood. Rummel claims the point as the Beavers continue to steal. It feels like points here on the road. Timeout Santa Clara. Well, they just will not give in to the Broncos and now lead by 8. 6 of the last 7 points. And here in this fourth set, they have hit 462 as a group. Meanwhile, Santa Clara on their side, you can see them in one breath looking for answers, I'm sure, but in the other, just wondering when and if Oregon State is going to make a mistake. Even on some of the points it feels like should have been ended in Santa Clara's favor. That group in white, they have been ultimately resilient. 16 digs by Tia Shum, who we saw exit momentarily and now out of the huddle is back onto the floor for Oregon State. 12 digs by Emma Lilo. 9 even by Alondra Paz, who had a big one a couple of points ago. I mean, this Oregon State group, which has been advertised as one of the best defensive groups in the WCC, has absolutely lived up to the billing. 11 blocks for Oregon State after acquiring none through the first set. Shanahan with a big swing. Shum handles it. Rummel returns the favor. Oregon State leads by 9. Now 17 kills for Lauren Rummel. And Shum set this all up. Wow. They'll try Shanahan again. This time she goes towards the corner and misses outside and wide. It is all Beavers right now in Santa Clara. This time it's Kapihe. Oregon State again, absolutely rolling, but just missed. Gould. Shanahan over the top. The finesse. This time the Broncos block is there. Shanahan tries to just force it. Big swing. Shanahan. Shum. Who else? Gorgeous dig, and then Gould misfires. So a timeout's going to be taken by Santa Clara, their final one. Right now, 19-11 in favor of Oregon State. An attack error by Gould setting things up. Just the 16th attack error of the evening for Oregon State in the second here in this set. I mean, that is the way that things have gone. And, you know, mentioned, I believe it was in the third set, what Oregon State was able to do to their two conference foes last weekend, holding them both to under 100 in terms of hitting percentage. Well, in the last two sets, that's what they've done. In the last two sets, they have been ahead. Obviously, the second set, which they won, and now here in the fourth, they have just made things extremely difficult for Santa Clara. And right now, it's only Tia Kapihe and Grace Flanagan that having hitting percentage above 167. Shanahan and Ashleon, who have been the two to sort of shoulder the attacking load, they have been slowed by Oregon State. At the net now, Flanagan puts it down. Well, there's a good start for Santa Clara. Probably looking for a final push, with the Oregon State Beavers closing in on 20. Rummel moves them there. It's not about necessarily playing perfect, but Oregon State has just been so strong here in the fourth set. Flanagan was waiting for it and drilled one down the middle. Grace Flanagan now with 12 kills. She has allowed Santa Clara to move quickly in their attack and has been a consistent force all night for Santa Clara. Matthias Scholes does her Flanagan impression. Oregon State moved from the middle.
Point, Oregon State. Miley Cormier back in. Rommel serving next.
Hinshaw leaves it up for Shanahan. They've keyed in on her here in this fourth set. Cormier, too far, but there was a tip. Touched at the tape, and no contention from Santa Clara. So advantage back to 9. In a very competitive West Coast Conference, Oregon State certainly looks like it is going to make a bid for the top of the table this season. Have appeared dominant through their first 3 matches as Alyssa Eimer will come in for service. There's Scholes. Rockets one past Santa Clara. And the Beavers inch closer to victory.
Kate Shanahan back in for Santa Clara. Scholes serving next.
Shanahan into the tape and gets a nice bounce. Well, she certainly will not complain. 16 kills for Kate Shanahan. And now it's Ashlyn Riley. Matthias here to Hester, and a solo denial. Ashleon turns Oregon State away. Well, that was about as emphatic of a solo rejection as we've seen from either side this evening. Riley with an excellent serve. And it earns a Broncos point. Now a timeout's going to be taken by Oregon State. One in the pocket there for Bohanek, and so she is going to make sure that this team has an opportunity to sort of reset, regroup. Again, just 2 points necessary for a victory. Santa Clara missed a 3-0 run as Oregon State. We take a look at a couple of the fantastic plays from this fourth set. That was a beautiful first touch by Shum. You saw the dig there, which allowed, again, Lauren Rummel in the middle of those 2 points to benefit. And although Shum doesn't get the assist on this particular play, that point was completely built on the hustle and the extension of one Tia Shum, the grad student, ECU transfer. Been a big part of this Oregon State group that now has its eyes set on a 9th overall win, 3-0 start to conference play, and simply 2 points away.
That is the second Beaver timeout.
In the event of a Santa Clara loss, you can check out our social media sites for a conversation with head coach Erin Lindsay. So make sure to head and follow Santa Clara and all their athletic programs on social media while you're there. And Santa Clara is going to steal that point. So a 4-0 Broncos run. And a couple of quick substitutions for Oregon State. Gould along with Lilo are going to return. Cormier, Shanahan. And somehow Ashleon reaches over the scorer's table and keeps it in play, at least momentarily, as Cormier puts it away. Match point for Oregon State. Let's take a look at the replay. Somehow tracked it in. An excellent effort. Oregon State fell victim to Santa Clara in both matches last season. Now in 2025, a point away from returning the first half of the favor. Ashleon misses wide, and Oregon State claims the match. They have dropped just 2 sets through their first 3 matches, undefeated to begin conference play. Final set, Oregon State 25, Santa Clara 18. Oregon State wins 3-1.
15-25 and 25-18.
All we have to do is insert it.
Well, for Oregon State to jump out to a 2-0 lead, and then after a dominant third set victory by Santa Clara, Oregon State handed them back one of their own in the 4th set. All right, it's time to take a look at our Rabbit Office automation play of the game. And this is during the 4th set. There were a lot of excellent plays to pick from. But with the first effort by Alondra Paz to set up another opportunity for Santa Clara to claim this point. Ashleon off the deflection. Perhaps the effort of the evening from Tia Shum allowed Lauren Rummel to step into the kill. 2 efforts from Oregon State. And then Rummel, one of her 18 kills to lead all players on the hardwood. As Shum looked injured for a moment, eventually did return and finished out the match.